Hey guys. Okay, so in the last video, I said in this video we were going to be creating new routes, but we're actually going to do that in the next video because I forgot an important thing. I didn't really show you how to use Sourcetree, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that now. If you're already familiar with Git, this will probably just be a repeat of stuff you already know. But if you just want to open Sourcetree, you may be using another Git GUI, but go ahead and open it. And if you click on file status, you'll see kind of two bins here. You'll see a group of unstaged files and staged files. And the way this works is all these files, even though they're saved to your hard drive, they haven't been what's called committed to the version control system to Git. And what that means is we don't have any record of any changes you've made. So we want to go ahead and commit all these, except if you start scrolling through this list, you'll see there are a lot of files in here. And most of them are in this path called node modules. Now, node modules is where everything that we install with npm, that's where it installs to. And we don't need to save that because that's already saved on the internet. We can download that whenever we need to. So what we can do is we can add a file called git ignore. So if you just open Sublime and create a new file, save it to your top level, so to Pokedex API, and call it .gitignore. The dot is important and it has to be spelled exactly like that, or else Git won't parse it correctly. Then in this file, we're going to type */node modules and then another slash. And what this means simply is that Git is going to ignore anything that is in a node modules folder. The star just is a wildcard, so anything can come before the node modules folder, and then the slash tells you that's a folder or a directory. So go ahead and save that and open, go back to Sourcetree, and yeah, okay, so my unstaged files list just refreshed, and you can see it's a lot smaller, a lot more manageable. If we just look through this list, I think we want everything here. So you can click stage all, and everything will move up to this top bin. And that means once we commit it, everything will be included in this version of our API. And one thing we can do is if you click the minus button next to one of these files, for instance, test.js, and then you commit, test.js will not be included. And so that won't be in a version. I'm going to include it just because. And so then the next thing you want to do is in this text box here, this is your commit message. And I usually write things in command form. So some people write them in past tense, but I like to do command form. It's just a convention that I learned, and I think it's a lot more professional and cleaner. So I'm going to say this version creates a REST API. So create a REST API for connecting to Pokedex data. Yeah, you can write pretty much whatever you want. You just want it to say essentially what you did in this code change. So then go ahead and hit the commit button down at the bottom. And then if you go to the history tab on the side here, you'll see here's our commit message, create a REST API for connecting to Pokedex data. And you'll see this thing master here, that's your branch. Right now there's only one branch, that's the default Git branch. But we can create another branch if you click the branch button here. And we'll call this, the next thing we're doing is creating more routes. We'll just call this more routes. And then click create branch. So right now they are on the same level, the same version, but when we add more stuff and commit again with this more routes branch checked out, this more routes will move up or master will move down, however you want to look at it. And you can jump back and forth between the branches and see the different versions. And then eventually, if you want, you can merge this more routes branch back into master, and then they'll be the same again. So that's how we do Git, basic Git with the GUI. If you want to mess around, so push, pull, fetch, those don't do anything right now because we don't have this connected to any remote source. But if you connect this to say your GitHub account, you could push your changes to the internet and then they'd be stored up there. And that's definitely very useful, especially if you're transferring from one computer, one workspace to another. And so that's basics of Git and Sourcetree. And then in the next video, we really are going to start creating other routes.